Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my co-host, my uncle, Andrew Barreto. And today it's all football. Football season starts this week. But before we get into our week one matchups and predictions, we're going to talk about the biggest news that happened all season. It happened last week. Micah Parsons traded from Dallas to the Packers. We'll get right into it. So, entering this offseason, highest paid non-quarterback was Justin Jefferson. He was getting paid $35 million a year. Then the Raiders got out ahead. They signed their guy Max Crosby to a $35.5 million deal. He beat Justin Jefferson by half a million. And then 4 days later, March 9th, Myles Garrett beat Crosby and he went up to $40 million per year. So these contracts already getting big. After that, a week later, Jamar Chase, boom, he set it at $40.25 million. And then T.J. Watt went to $41 million in July, and now Jerry Jones, the madman, trades Micah Parsons, their their edge rusher, the guy with 12 sacks in all four of his seasons. They were trying to get contract negotiations, they couldn't get it through, and now they trade him. They trade him, and he's going to Green Bay. He's signing um, a 4 year, $47 million per year. Cowboys offered 5 years, I believe $205 million, so it was about 40 and a half million per year. He said no, and now the Packers are going to be paying him $47 million per year. And in return, the Cowboys got two first round picks and and Pro Bowl tackle Kenny Clark. Um, but just a big shocker. I mean, what what
Yeah,
what went through your mind when you saw that go down?
looks like Jerry Jones. He's old school. He's an old school owner. He doesn't care what those other guys are getting paid. He wants to pay him what he feels is. They try to work it out. It seemed like they were at least communicating, but they're just playing hardball like most negotiations go down. Um, but Jerry Jones wasn't having it, and he thought their defense was still ranked pretty low in the league with Parsons. Um, so before he walks or holds out or whatever it may be, let me see what I could get for him, and probably threw some feelers out there, and sure enough, got himself a couple first round picks, and yeah, it's huge. This is a major blow, I would say, to the Cowboys. You have to wait and see what those draft picks turn out to be. But I mean, like being a Raider fan, we've seen this before. I mean, we can get into it later with the Khalil Mack trade back. What year was it? 2016, 2017, something like that. And they ended up getting rid of Khalil Mack. He wanted a negotiation. He wanted a contract. He didn't get it. So he goes to the Bears, and you let a Hall of Fame defensive tackle, I'm sorry, defensive player, leave your team, and he ends up, just being successful. He didn't win a Super Bowl or anything, but still was getting, double-digit sacks, almost every year. Not every year, but he was still the standout, linebacker that he was, or that he is. And yeah, so Parsons going to the Packers. That's all good news for them. I mean, he's a young guy, 26. Um, he seems to be getting that double digit sacks every year since he's been in the league, and I could just see him continue to do that. Just now that he has, he's getting paid. But like you said, he has, like you said before we got on, these little injury to take care of right now. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, like you said, tough blow. It's a tough blow to the Cowboys defense. We know that. Like you said, yeah, he did have an injury. He's dealing with the a facet joint sprain, an L4 and L5 joint sprain in his back. It says he may be able to play with epidural shots. So we have to see how that progresses. Throughout the week. Could this be an ongoing issue? We don't know. Maybe it's something Jerry knew. Obviously, they passed the physical with him, but they didn't. They obviously missed that somehow. But yeah, like you said, tough blow to the defense. Obviously, like you said, 12 sacks, double-digit sacks every year. He's also obviously a freak of nature. But to be honest, I like the move for Dallas. They get the two first-round picks. They save all that money. They get a Pro Bowl defensive tackle in return. Because to be honest, I don't think he's worth $47 million per year. I don't think it. I don't think so.
Big
I mean,
dollars.
T.J. Watt is I don't know how many times he's won Defensive Player of the Year, and he's only getting 40 million per year. Now, 40 million is a lot of money, but I don't think Parsons was worth 47 million per year. I mean, him and Jordan Love alone take up I believe it's $102 million out of their salary cap. $102 million. The salary cap's 285. They had to sign 51 other players with 100 and I believe it's 107 no 183 million, something like that. But I don't think Parsons was worth 47 million per year. I mean, like he's great. Don't get it wrong. He is fantastic. He is a star player, all pro player. But he's not the best at the position. He's not. I mean, yeah, he's versatile. He'll move around the field. But so does TJ Watt. TJ Watt does the same thing, and I think TJ Watt's better. I think a guy, Miles Garrett's better. I think Max Crosby's better. I just, like I said, he's up there. He's probably top five, but I don't think he's worth 47 million a year. I just think,
Yeah,
for the Packers, I bet you the Packers are happy. That does give a boost to their defense, but that takes a shot out of their salary cap, and they're lucky right now. They don't have any top receivers. They have a couple young guys and rookies, but the receiver's been their biggest problem because they don't spend on the receivers, and you won't be able to
obviously.
spend on a receiver because you don't have any money. And that's just me though. I think
Yeah,
you
I
know,
was just about to say that too. It's like that's not the only issue the Packers have. They need other help. They were just in the wild card, and they were out by the Eagles pretty quick. Was it the wild card? Last year's playoffs, anyways. And yeah, they have a lot of holes. It's not just that defensive need. They, like you said, receiver, and there's some other positions there that they need help in. And that much cap being taken up by a couple players, like you mentioned, yeah, I agree. That's really going to make it hard to to sign any other kind of free agents. And good luck to whoever has to deal with those numbers. Yeah, I don't often get into all the ins and outs of the contract and what could be restructured or what what I mean, that kind of thing. So, but as the way it sits right now, yeah, it's going to be hard to get other people signed for the Packers. Yeah, the Cowboys, they're seems they're always had the aspirations for reaching the Super Bowl, but it's going to be hard if you already had one of the worst defenses in the league last year. Now you lose your best guy. This guy has every award in the book defensively, and just from what I'm looking at his Wikipedia, he's got Rookie of the Year, defensively, All Pros, Pro Bowler. Um, and he's young, so I could see, barring any injuries, hopefully this back issue with the epidural is not, that could be something too. But hopefully it's nothing major, and he continues the next 10 years being uh, again, comparing him to Khalil Mack and what Khalil did after he was traded. He still went on and still did what he was supposed to do. I won't forget the 2023 season where he played against his old team, the Raiders. Recorded 6 sacks. I don't know if you remember that. He had
yeah,
17 that year. 17 sacks in 2023 with the Chargers, and yeah, six against his old teammate, Las Vegas Raiders. So yeah, that's as soon as he was traded, that was something. I mean, luckily we got Max Crosby, but we always found ourselves looking for. That trade didn't work out for the Raiders. They got Josh Jacobs, which yeah, he did what he was supposed to do, and he was 1,000 yard back, and he's a good player, but then next thing you know, he's gone. He takes off, and then anybody else associated with that trade, they ended up turning into nothing. So that other first round pick or whatever it may be. So for me, it's like, yeah, you giving up this defensive player who has already made a name for himself in the league, and I granted, I'm not giving him 45 million, so that's why it's easy for me to say this. If I was the owner, yeah, I'd probably buy. Say, hey, that's a lot of money for you, man. We got holes here. We got other areas that we need to pay attention to.
yeah, and I was just blanking on my thought right now. But yeah, I mean, like you said, yeah, initial reports it only said 2 first round picks. When I saw that, I was like, wow, Cowboys did give fleece. The Packers. I mean, the Packers just added to their defense, right? But then when it came out that Kenny Clark was also heading to Dallas, I was like, okay, that makes it a little bit better for Dallas. Now, I'm not saying Dallas won this trade. I just think it was kind of a good move for them. But so Packers add Parsons. They lose Clark, so now they get some outside pressure, but now they use a gap in the middle. So they still need to add somewhere in the
Yeah,
middle. While Dallas added in the middle, yeah, sure, Parsons, you're not gonna have the 12.5 sacks, but that's okay because they were able to extend Deron Bland. We all know Deron Bland. He has leads. I think he's in history books right now. Most pick sixes in a season. I believe he had five. That year, I believe he had, I think, 14 picks. I'm not quite sure, but they extended him to a 4-year, $92 million contract.
jeez.
And he's great. He was injured last year, but he's great for the Cowboys, and that's at 23 million. He's an All Pro corner. Um, well, at least a Pro Bowl corner. I'm not sure if he's actually gotten the All Pro, but yeah, he had five pick sixes in 2023. Um, and yeah, that year he had 14, you know, or his 14 career interceptions and 167 tackles, 27 pass defense, and a fumble. Like I said, he missed 10 games last season. Um, but he was a fifth round pick, and he's been great for the Cowboys. Like I said, 23 million is a lot better than 47 million
Oh yeah,
because cornerback's just as an important position as edge rusher. And so they save out what is it, 24 million right there, 24 million they go spend elsewhere because like you said they have some needs on the team, and it's just not sustainable when you can't win a Super Bowl when you only have five good players. You need a full team. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The Chiefs, we've seen the Eagles last year. Just these well-rounded teams win Super Bowls because they have the depth, they have the players, and they have like a group of guys who are not taking up a bunch of heavy hitting contracts, or are willing to rearrange them. So it's just I just don't, like I said again, I don't think Parsons was worth 47 million. I think he's a $40 million player, not a $47 million player. But yeah, just big news. Remember, I saw that and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, well, that's good for the Packers. Their team just got a boost, but with that back injury, we'll see how it goes. We won't see the winner because we got to wait to see who the Cowboys draft with those two first round picks. So we can't grade
the
it yet. We can't say who wins or whatnot.
yeah Cowboys.
Um,
They're gambling here, right? Cowboys did a little gambling here. They kind of did the old school draw, right? The two Western guys, both of them have their hands in their pocket, and they want to see who was going to draw first. And Jerry Jones he would not let down and said, you know what? Yeah, let's get some picks for you. Let's move on. You'll be happier. We'll be happier. And yeah, it's a everything's pretty much like this is the gamble. Wait and see. More times than not, those picks could lead to nothing major, but a lot of it all depends to their scouting. We'll see how it goes. We won't know for a couple years how this all turns out, but yeah, Darren Bland, another young guy, a shutdown corner. You got one of those kind of corners on your teams, and yeah, that's they hold a premium in the league. They're just they don't always come out of the draft, highly recruited, and I think when you have someone like that, that's more takes precedence over pass rusher.
yeah, and this trade, yeah, it's huge, but it should have come out to a surprise. And I've been watching the Cowboys documentary, right? It's called "The Gambler and His Cowboys." It's Jerry Jones. They talk about Jerry Jones. The guy
Oh, okay,
traded Herschel Walker.
yeah,
So he traded Herschel Walker and turned that to Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman. I mean, we know Jerry Jones isn't afraid to make big moves.
right.
He isn't afraid to go out and get guys, sign guys to big contracts. He was talking about how he found a way to sign Deion Sanders when he was with the Niners and they beat him in the NFC Championship. He found a way to sign Deion the next year. Then they went on to win the Super Bowl. I mean, he Jerry Jones was just never afraid to make moves. I mean, he fired Jimmy Johnson after winning back-to-back Super Bowls. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like I said,
yeah.
he traded Herschel Walker. I mean, it, like you said,
I'm
he's an
gonna
old
have to
school
watch
guy.
that. I'm gonna have to watch that
You
documentary
gotta watch
because
it. It gets
because
into a lot.
some of this stuff, yeah, I lived it. That '89 trade, I do remember that. It's practically traded a whole football team for Herschel Walker, and at the time, Herschel Walker was just this great running back, just running over everybody, uh, it didn't seem like that was going to happen. But yeah, they ended up. They turned that Herschel Walker into all these football players and the draft picks. The first rounders obviously panned out to be, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and it gave them that dynasty for a good solid 10 years. They were, winning games, winning Super Bowls, going to championships, them and I think it was the 49ers, right? The 49ers going back and forth in the 90s, just battling it out. But yeah, I have to check that out because that's funny because I do remember that Herschel Walker trade, and yeah, I'd say the Cowboys they did all right with that one.
Yeah, they did. Like I said, Jerry just he's like, till this day, he's still not afraid to make moves, and, I'll take all the criticism for it. Like, he got, like, in the documentary, talked about how he took on Charles Haley. He got Charles Haley and how big he was for them. We all know, he signed Dak to the big year. He signed CD Lamb. Like I said, they just got the deal done with Duran, with Bland. And they just couldn't get this one through, and Jerry thought it was the right decision to make. Like I said, we can't see yet. We don't know. Maybe those first two first round picks turn into something greater than Parsons. We don't know. Obviously, like I said, back then with the Herschel Walker trader, he traded probably the best running back in the league back then, but then he ended up getting the all-time leading rusher. So it's just something we gotta wait and see. But yeah, Jerry Jones is
He's the gambler, like you said. That's all
he's the
gambling
gambler.
right
It's the gambler and his Cowboys. So yeah, if you have Netflix, I advise you go watch. Even if you're not a Cowboys fan, I'm not a Cowboys fan,
uh-huh.
but it is just very interesting to see, and you guys should all go watch that on Netflix. But yeah. So like I said, Micah Parsons traded. Big, big news. Before we still get into our week one predictions, some other news going around. Bill signed Gabe Davis to the practice squad. Obviously, Gabe Davis had his big years with the Bills with Josh Allen. Obviously, Josh Allen, the Bills haven't added much talent to the team. They have Khalil Shakir, they have the Keon Coleman, the second year wide receiver. So now they get Gabe Davis back. Obviously, he'll start with the practice squad. He's gonna have to learn um, the playbook. But yeah, which wait and see. These old the vets are returning to their teams, and we got to see how that all goes. But week one, this today's Tuesday. This episode will get out on Wednesday. So Thursday, when you guys see this episode, game one or week one starts tomorrow, Thursday night. We
Already,
got Eagles, Cowboys, NFC rivals.
man.
Think I already picked my team on. I think I got the Eagles. The defending champs will
Yeah,
likely defeat the Cowboys. Hopefully, it's a good game. We all know Dak Prescott. When he's healthy, that offense is one of the best. Him and CeeDee Lamb are just a dangerous duo. But with him coming back, I expect things to be a little shaky. I don't expect everything to go as planned.
right.
But yeah, so I got Eagles beating Cowboys week one. Probably something around the lines like 20, 31-21 Philly. Be a nice, good game. And then Friday, we got a game Chiefs
Right.
Chargers AFC division matchup in Brazil. So yeah, this is the second time
The heck?
they're having a game in Brazil. I don't know how I feel about it. To me, Brazil just seems so bizarre to have a football game. I just feel like it's not the right spot. You should be having football games like London. It kind of makes sense. I'm surprised they haven't tried doing it in Canada. But to me, Brazil is just like, I don't know. That just doesn't feel right to have a game there. But anyways,
trying they're trying to go everywhere nowadays, right? They
yeah,
did London, Brazil. Yeah, who
they've
knows? Canada's
they've done
probably
uh, they've done Germany. But yeah, so we got Chiefs Chargers in Brazil Friday at 5 o'clock. Um, I got the Chiefs winning this. Think it's gonna be a close game. It's always a close game. The Chargers always put up a great fight versus the Chiefs. Um, but I just think the Chiefs are gonna have that, kind of fight in them. They're coming off a Super Bowl loss. Travis Kelce just got engaged, so I expect a big game from him. And I just don't think the Chargers offense is not a problem. The Chargers offense is going to be great for them. It's just the defense that's going to have its concerns. They lost Joey Bosa. Um, they still do have Khalil Mack, but he's up there in age. Obviously, they have Derwin James, but it's everywhere else. Linebackers, corners. I just don't know how they're going to hold up. Obviously, Mahomes has his magic. We'll see if he still has his so-called Devil's magic. But I got the Chiefs winning that one. I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game, probably a close game, 24-21. Just because normally those two teams have a matchup like that. Um, who you got winning? Who you got winning these first two games?
Well, I think you mentioned Kelsey. I think he's got the love bug right now. So he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna be his head's gonna be in the game. Yeah, like you say, he just got engaged. I think he's too much in love to care right now. I think his mind's gonna be on Taylor Swift and the next concert and what they're gonna do once they get married. So yeah, I mean, I'm going. Nah, Chiefs still got him. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes back there, I do expect a close game. But yeah, I think the Chiefs end up winning that one in Brazil. Yeah, and I'll take the Eagles over the Cowboys. Cowboys, try to just gather the troops together after a big leader leaves their building. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think the Eagles take them. The defending champs end up winning Thursday, September 4th.
Yeah, and then September we got a full sled. We got Bucks, Falcons. I'm not gonna go into depth on each of these
Yeah.
games. Bucks, Falcons. I got Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. I think the Falcons are gonna be a lot better this year with Michael Penix behind the center. I think their defense is gonna be, they got a couple rookies on defense, so I think they're gonna have a better year than last year. But I still think the Bucks are gonna win the division. I got the Bucks winning game one. Bengals, Browns. I don't think Joe Flacco is elite Joe anymore, so I got I'm gonna go with the other Joe, Joe Burrow, and the Bengals. They'll have Trey Hendrickson. We'll see how that defense does, but that offense is hard to stop. That the offense is gonna put up 35 points every game, so I got Bengals winning that one. Dolphins, Colts. This is an interesting matchup. Uh, I'm probably gonna go Dolphins. It might be a unique game, but still Tua with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and Devon A. Chain. I think it's gonna be too much with that Colts defense, and I don't know how Daniel Jones is gonna perform with the Colts offense. So I got Tua and the Dolphins
Yeah.
beating the Colts. Panthers, Jags. Now this is like a battle for last place last year. I'm just kidding. But Panthers Jags, it's this one is unique to me. I think I went Panthers. I think Bryce Young. Um, I think Bryce Young and I think the Panthers. I think they had some big additions. On defense, they did lose Adam Thielen. If I'm not 100% wrong, I'm pretty sure Adam Thielen was traded back to the Vikings.
Right. I believe so.
So they do lose him, but they do have the rookie Tedero McMillan. So we'll see how he does. But I think, Travis Hunter's obviously going to be on the Jags. We'll see if he plays both sides of the ball. But I think the Panthers are going to beat the Jags in this one. And then we got the Raiders and Chris Berman versus the Patriots. Obviously, this is going to be biased, but I got the Raiders winning.
They
I
have
think
to
the
get
biggest
this one. I mean, it's against he's still
second year
still
Drake
rookie
May.
quarterback, right? I mean,
Against a young Drake May and a young Patriots team. Obviously, I kind of feel like the Raiders have been cursed against the Patriots. Obviously, another tough rule. But even the couple of years previously, obviously, we had the one win against them in 2022 with Chandler Jones took the pick six all the way back. But otherwise, I feel like the Patriots kind of own the Raiders recently. But yeah, I think they win. I think the biggest question with the Raiders is can their secondary hold up? We all know Max Crosby is a freak on defense, but we got to see how the rest of the defense holds up, and we'll see how the Patriots offense moves. They'll probably look like studs in Week 1, but we'll go on from there. But I think the Raiders offense is going to propel them to a victory here in Game 1. Cardinals Saints. We talked about it last week. Spencer Rattler is the Week 1 quarterback. It's going to be a long year for Saints fans. Let me go Cardinals over the Saints. Saints might go 0-17. We'll see. Steelers Jets. We got some revenge games. Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields. That's probably the biggest the biggest difference between these two games is who's going to play better at quarterback. I mean, we got the 43-year-old, 42-year-old, and Aaron Rodgers, versus the young 26, 27-year-old Justin Fields. I don't know. Uh, who do you got winning this game? I was conflicted when I was
It
picking.
seems like a low scoring game right here. I would think you know the veteran Aaron Rodgers gets the best of Justin Fields, but any given Sunday, Jets are at home, and I'm still thinking that the Steelers pull this out. They'll have enough defense to just bother Fields and make him throw the other team.
Yeah, I think both defenses have been pretty good. I think Steelers will get the best of the Jets. And we got Giants Commanders. I think Commanders are, you know, we don't know, is it Jackson Dart starting quarterback? We don't know. But I think the Commanders, coming off the great year last year, they'll probably beat the Giants week one. Broncos Titans. I think the Broncos defense will be too much for Cam Ward to handle in his first game. I mean, that Broncos defense is always top five. Always could be top three, but that Broncos defense is scary, and they have a rookie quarterback facing them. I don't like the matchup for the Titans. I got Broncos winning game one. Seahawks Niners. Now I had the Seahawks winning, just because I feel like the Niners lost too much on both sides of the ball. Some some holes like offensive line. They obviously the short on receivers right now. And they lost a lot on defense. And the Seahawks added, they obviously got Sam Darnold, Cooper Cup. So yeah, I got Seahawks winning that one. Now here's a big matchup: Lions Packers. Packers just added Micah Parsons. Lions are getting Aiden Hutchinson back. This is gonna be a good game. Um, for me, I got the Lions winning. I don't know about you. I think the Lions are, just still a dominant
Yeah,
team.
yeah. Like you said, they're still a dominant team. They're like Super Bowl bust. I mean, they've been kind of uh, they've been knocking on the door the last couple seasons, and I think they just nothing's different this year for them. I take the Lions. I just wonder is that quarterback for Green Bay? What's his name? The guy who's making
Jordan
all the
Love.
money. What's the name?
Jordan Love.
Yeah, is he playing? I thought he was injured.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's playing. Yeah, I think he's fully healthy. But yeah, I mean, Lions, lost a lot of coaches. They lost the offensive coordinator, they lost the defensive coordinator, they lost the other big coaches in that coaching staff. But we all know Dan Campbell leads that team. He'll have his team ready every Sunday. So I got the Lions winning that. Texans Rams. Now we all know CJ Stroud had a sophomore slump last year. Matt Stafford is good to go week one. Um, this to me is a unique matchup. Obviously, no Joe Mixon for the Texans. It'll be Nick Chubb getting the carries. Obviously, Rams added Devontae Adams. Um, I got Rams winning. I think the Rams are just a over. I think they're just a well-rounded team. Texans. Offensive lines would be scary for CJ Stroud. Hopefully, they can hold up. But I mean, he was the most sacked quarterback last year. At least it felt like it. Um, and then final game Sunday night. We got a great matchup. Ravens Bills.
Oh yeah.
Um, two teams trying to get over the hump into the Super Bowl and win it. Um, I got the Ravens though. I think they're just such a powerhouse. Both sides of the ball. They got just a great all around team, like you said. Like for the Lions, they're Super Bowl or bust. I think it's the same thing for the Ravens. Obviously, the Bills have been trying to do that too, but I just
Yeah.
feel like every year I feel like they don't add enough to their
Okay.
team. I feel like they just kind of just rely on the draft too much, and they just expect Josh Allen to just carry them, and it's worked, right? Josh Allen has carried them to the playoffs, close to the Super Bowl, but they've been stuck at that hump, and so have the Ravens. But I got the Ravens winning on Sunday night. And Monday Night Football. I can't believe we're going talking about football. It's just crazy. It's been forever. Vikings, Bears. We got the rookie J.J. McCarthy versus the former first overall pick in Caleb Williams.
Oh,
Um,
couple young guys.
obviously no couple of young guys. Obviously no Jordan Addison for the Vikings. Bears could be without Jalen Johnson, their best corner. I think this is. I don't know. This to me, this is tough to pick. All right, like I said, we got a rookie quarterback on one end, and on the other, then we got a guy who was sacked a lot. Yeah, they added Joe Thuney to the offensive line, But I don't know. I think, Justin Jefferson's a great guy to have for a rookie quarterback.
Oh yeah, I
He's
was just
almost
gonna say that.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
And the Vikings had a top 5 defense last year, and I expect the same thing this year. And so we'll see how Caleb Williams does, but we'll see how JJ McCarthy does. It's going to be tough. This could go either way. I think if JJ McCarthy plays well enough, it's an easy win for the Vikings. I feel like if he struggles and Caleb Williams plays well enough against this Vikings defense, it's going to the Bears. So I'm gonna put this up in the air. I don't know who's winning this game on Monday night. Um, but yeah, that's just it's football. Great,
It's just the beginning, right?
just the beginning, just week 1 in September. I'm super excited for this to be back on. I just had my fantasy draft. Um, kind of happy with my team. I finally got a good prediction this year. Past last year, I got a B minus on my draft grade, and they
Uh-huh.
predicted me to go 0 and 15. So that was pretty rough. I was projected to go 0 and 15 last year. I think I finished around 6 and 9. This year I projected to go 10 and 5. I had the seventh, no, I had the eighth pick in the draft. I'll just go through my team real quick. At my quarterback position, I got Kyler Murray. I'm hoping Kyler Murray has a big year. Obviously, with Marvin Harrison Jr. and um, Trey McBride, I'm hoping he gets a lot of air yards and some yards on the ground. I got Jonathan Taylor at my running back. Kind of got him around the third, fourth round. Hopefully he's got a big bounce back year this year. Helps out Daniel Jones a lot. I got Amarian Hampton, the rookie running back for the Chargers. They drafted him with the 22nd overall pick this past year. I got Garrett Wilson. I had him last year. He was great for me. Hopefully he'll be better this year with his guy Justin Fields. Then I got Malik Neighbors. I also had him last year. He was great for me. Hope this year he'll actually have a good quarterback compared to last year. We had Daniel Jones throwing to him. Um, and then I got Brock Bowers at the tight end position. Hopefully he goes back to back years being the number 1 tight end.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's
and
good.
then yeah, and then on my flex position, I got the rookie Teddy McMillan from the Panthers. I don't know how that's gonna feel, so I got filled up a couple positions off my bench. Uh, for kicker, I got Cam Little, kicker from Jacksonville, is the guy who hit a 70-yard field goal in preseason. I just feel like the Jags would be kicking a lot of field goals. Went with them. I went with the Bucks defensively just because of the division. I feel like they're getting me a lot of points when they play the Saints and whatnot.
Man, you
And
are
then
an
off my
anti-Saints, man. You are against the
yeah,
Saints.
I was a big fan. I was a big fan of the Saints when Drew Brees was their quarterback. I was rooting for him to win it in 2020. They fell short to the Bucks in the NFC. Pretty sure it was the NFC and then the playoffs. They fell short to Tom Brady. But yeah, I was a big Saints guy. As of recent, they just have not been great. I feel like they've been going in the wrong direction. Um, yeah, then off my bench, I got Dak Prescott as my back quarterback. Hopefully, Dak is healthy. Usually, when he's healthy, he's a great fantasy quarterback. I got Tyrone Tracy, running back from the Giants. Hopefully, he's running back 1. I still don't know if between him or Cam Scatterbo. I got Javonte Williams, running back for the Cowboys. Hopefully, he's also running back 1. I got some questionable guys on my defense. I want Travis Hunter off my bench because I feel like he's gonna be wide receiver 2. Trevor Lawrence should hit him a lot. I don't know if he'll get if you. I don't know if he'll get any points if he gets a pick when he's on defense, but I'll see on that. And then I got Jake Ferguson and Kyle Pitts to round out my last 2 bench spots on tight end. I'm hoping those 2 guys have big years for me. Looking to win a championship. I've been at the bottom of the leaderboard past couple of years, so it's been rough. I know you used to be in my league yourself. But yeah,
Oh
fantasy
yeah,
football, fun,
my
fun.
son, he's in it. He was drafted. I think he got Baker Mayfield. He ended up drafting him. I think he ended up getting Jake Moody. It was the kicker for the Niners, Jake Moody, or maybe
Jake Moody,
Justin Tucker. No, I'm just kidding.
no, no, I don't think Justin Tucker's
He,
in the league
he
right now.
started drafting guys who I go, oh boy, this is gonna be a long season. No, I can't recall any of the other ones that he's drafted, but yeah, he's excited. Yeah, don't forget to put your lineups in because there's a game almost every day: Thursday, Friday,
So
Sundays,
yeah, soon we'll have
Mondays.
a game. Yeah, soon we'll probably have a game every day of the week. We'll have games on Tuesday,
Yeah,
Wednesday,
it's
Thursday,
just a matter
Friday.
of time. It's just a matter of time. We're getting there.
Yeah, we are. But yeah, fantasy football is something fun because not only am I rooting for my team, not only am I rooting for the Raiders, I'm rooting for some other teams to win. Especially I do this thing pick'ems where you got to pick who wins each
Oh
game,
yeah, okay.
and so I'm always rooting for every game. There's a team to root for. So it's always fun,
Doing that again. You're doing that again. That's by the points, right?
Yeah,
Like
you'd
point spread.
like yeah. Well, not a point spread, but like my 16-point game is Dallas Cowboys. So if I not Dallas Cow if
Oh,
Philly
yeah,
and
that's
Dallas. So if Philly
right.
wins, I get 16 points, and you want to have the most points. So
Yes,
um
I know. Like
so
your for
football
sure
season's
game.
around.
Your for sure game is 16, right?
Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, like your 16-point game is the game that you're most confident the
I
team you
got it.
pick winning.
Nice.
So yeah, football season comes around and there's just a lot to do. And it's a
Right.
lot of fun when um football is around.
Here we go.
But moving on from the NFL, just a quick little MLB standing updates. Blue Jays at 80 wins. They have a 2.5 game lead over the Red Sox in the AL East. Tigers at 80 wins as well. They have a 9.5 game lead over the Royals. Astros lead the AL West. They have a 3.5 game lead over the Mariners. Now in the National League, Phillies 5.5 games over the Mets. Brewers 85 wins, most wins in the league. 5.5 games over the Cubs, and the Cubs themselves are 80 wins. And then in the NL West, Dodgers lead the Padres 2 games. Giants have been on a hot streak. They're still 9 games back of the division. I don't know how far they are back of the wild card position. But tough blow for the Padres. Padres have dropped the last 6 of 8, and they just lost all-star reliever Jason Adams. He tore his quad tricep tendon. He'll be out for the next 6 to 9 months. So tough blow for the Padres. Things have been not going their way. But still a month of baseball left. Cal Raleigh today hit home run. Uh, number 51. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if he ends up winning MVP. But we still got a month of baseball left before October. But that will be all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I'd like to thank my co-host, my uncle, for joining me today. Don't forget we're on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and that's it, right? Instagram, YouTube, yeah, and Spotify,
All the
and
social media.
TikTok, and
There
TikTok.
you
I
go.
almost said Twitter, or I almost said X, but not on X, but we're on TikTok. Um, yeah. Once again, thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, stay ready.